News this hour that Anthropic will spend $50 billion to build out AI infrastructure nationwide. It's the latest eye-popping number in the AI spending race, and it comes on a big day for another AI name. That's AMD, leading the S&P this morning, 10% gain after the chipmaker projected 35% annual revenue growth and $1 trillion market for AI data centers by 2030. Joining us this morning, Patrick Moorhead, founder and CEO of More Insights and Strategy. Patrick, it's great to have you. I wonder if we can maybe tackle Lisa's forecasts first. The argument's been made that they had prior forecasts that seemed cartoonish at the time and actually ended up being pretty right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The company got re-rated during the big OpenAI deal, and post Financial Analyst Day, we're looking at an average increase of about $11 on that, around $295. So I think the reality check is catching up with the big announcements here, and whether it was the 35% revenue CAGR, the 55 to 58% gross margins, or the 35% operating margins, the street is definitely impressed.
Do you think she deserves to be fielded with questions about accounts receivable and whether or not some of these customers are good for it?
So I think it's a bit unfair, but I think financial analysts need to ask those questions. And I think her and Jensen are getting very similar questions around how is everybody going to pay for that? And that gets to the conversation that I think you and I had when I was in studio a few weeks back, which is all around, is this a bubble or is this not? Is this just a beginning of a very large growth cycle?
Although we're obviously increasingly dependent on debt issuance, as we've graduated from the cash flow story. How important is that? How worrisome is that?
Listen, this is what I've been saying for the last 18 months, is that the questions are going to get a lot deeper and a lot sterner and more direct once we go from free cash flow to debt. And, we have Oracle, we have Meta, and even Google floating out there. XAI, of course, would do that, and they're even using GPUs as collateral. So yeah, there will be and there should be more scrutiny on the downstream impacts. I do really like that Anthropic is putting up some pretty big numbers. I think it's surprising a lot of people. What I mean by big numbers is big revenue numbers, as they're forecasted at least the next 3 years to be as large as OpenAI, and that is a very good sign. I'm very enthused about Microsoft and the numbers that they're putting up that are not just infrastructure related. It relates to their ability to drive Copilot, ServiceNow, and IBM as well. These are all very good signs.
So you said it deserves more scrutiny on how it's all being funded and what the payoff is. How do you do that when two of the biggest spenders are big private companies?
Yeah, I think the way that's done is them being more direct in how this is going to be funded. I think the interview that Sam Altman had last week really kicked this off, where it was a little bit unclear how this would all be funded, and then the OpenAI CFO gets on and kind of sort of says, "Hey, we would like government funding, but we don't need that." And that's driving a lot of uncertainty in the market. And you tie that in with SoftBank and CoreWeave, and we're in a very cautious overall AI market trade situation.
Right, although the price action might argue otherwise, with AMD up 10 this morning.
No questions there.
Yeah, at some point we can have a longer discussion about depreciation, which gets into some very deep accounting issues and how much is riding on all of that, Patrick. But we'll save it for next time. Thanks for the help. Good to see you.